Why I'm not a feminist. I grew up with a feminist value system in the household. Some are good, some are bad. I don't want you to think all feminism is the worst shit ever, but there are plenty of problems that come from Western feminism. I don't want to make this video on all the problems though, so I'll try not to be too much of a bitch. Feminism before the 90s was most definitely a great thing. It brought a lot of rights to women that they didn't have before, and they fought and they earned them. That's what protesting is all used to be all about. But in modern times, in the past 30 years, feminism has become just a bunch of victims whining, forcing non-victims to be victims. And if you're not in the feminism group, then you're just considered the plague of the earth. Feminists have such a poor view of women and men. They assume women are all weak and can only be victims. They assume men have to be that strong knight that always saves a woman. But yet, don't they hate that trope? And God forbid if women decide to think for themselves, right? Feminists just freak out. Like, what happened to feminism being about supporting women? In my upbringing, I was surrounded by people who were blindly feminist, spouting feminist myths without knowledge that they were lies, making men feel guilty for being alive, making women seem like perfect queens who could do no wrong, learning to make assumptions about men before you even know them, and so much more. Obviously, I have to generalize when I speak about those things, because feminists do the same to the out-group. Now, I grew up with split parents, which would feed the feminist value systems, for sure, but it wasn't intentional. I grew up with a lot of resentment of my father because of these things, and the way he manipulated people would only back it up. As I got older, it was easy to see that, socially, feminism was the only acceptable view, and by the time I was in high school, it was pretty embedded in my generation. So by this point, I was already being pushed to be a feminist. I didn't see it as a bad thing, though, because I already had the basics of feminism already impressioned into my mind. So, skipping a few years, till after high school, I was in a relationship with someone who was a feminazi. And after we were done, I realized that feminism can be pretty harmful. So I started to look into what makes feminism wrong through the internet. Started to listen to other points of view. I started to basically understand that I was supporting something that pretty much goes against a lot of my personal beliefs. And so began a few-year journey of dismantling some ideological issues that I picked up on. And I've lost some friends, and really, I don't care. Because if you're gonna stop being a friend over something so small as that, so be it. As a trans woman, I don't need feminism or social justice. I know who I am, and I don't need to wear myself out trying to make everyone speak to me the way I want them to. You misgender me? Yup, it's gonna happen because I have a male body and a male voice. I can't expect people to read my mind and know it all. Like, these social justice people want. When I was a feminist / social justice warrior, I thought they were being great allies to the trans community, even though I wasn't out as trans yet, but all they've done is throw out the voices of trans people. Whatever their narrative is, whatever their intentions, and whatever their actions are not always a good thing. I got the access to start taking hormones and get a gender doctor. That says enough to me that this supposed patriarchy can't be so bad. Like shit, you can't tell me all people are transphobic if they don't 100% agree with me. And no, they are not racist just because of reasons. Like, where the fuck in the world would I get to be me? In all honesty, not many countries except for the Western world. I get to express myself, and I don't have to fear religious zealots and crazy people coming after me for being transgender. People can hate on the Western world all they want, but it's because of the progression of these countries that you and I are allowed to question it or hate it without being imprisoned or beaten or worse. We live in one of the safest times in all of history, so chill the fuck out and learn to appreciate that we have all these opportunities that a lot of people in the world don't have access to. So take that chance to speak up for the people who don't have a voice, who don't have basic human rights, or even something just as simple as being allowed to express yourself sexually. Okay, and that's my rant. I'll probably come back to this later on and add more to it or open up the discussion more, but I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. And if you listened to the whole thing, thank you, and have a good day.